TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donations. Shalom, good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcasting to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, Israel is stepping up efforts to confront Iran's activities to entrench itself militarily across the Middle East as reports of additional strikes against Iranian assets in Syria and Iraq are confirmed. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu declares Israel to be the reason the Middle East is not falling into the hands of radical Islam. The United States will use all the options at its disposal to assure maritime navigation in the Strait of Hormuz remains uninterrupted. Israel is stepping up efforts to confront Iran's activities to entrench itself militarily across the Middle East. According to Western diplomatic sources who were quoted in a report by the London-based Sharq al-Awsat Daily, Israel launched an aerial strike yesterday against the Iranian-controlled Ashraf military base in Iraq, which is located some 80 kilometers east of Iran's border and some 40 kilometers northeast from the Iraqi capital, Baghdad. According to the report, the air raids hit Iranian advisors and targeted a shipment of ballistic missile launchers that were transferred shortly before the attack from Iran to Iraq. Yesterday's reported bombardment against Iranian targets in Iraq was the second such attack in less than a month beyond Syria and Lebanon, indicating an expansion of Israel's offensive Operation Circle as part of Jerusalem's declared efforts to confront Tehran's malign activities. The first reported attack, which was confirmed to TV7 by intelligence sources, cited a pinpointed bombardment of Iranian assets in a militant camp called Amreli, which is located in the Iraqi governorate of Salahuddin, north of Baghdad. According to one of the sources, the attack was carried out on the 19th of July. The IDF spokesperson's unit told TV7 that it does not respond to foreign reports and refused to confirm nor deny any Israeli involvement. Meanwhile, in Jerusalem, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu insists that the twin challenges that make Israel particularly significant for Europe is one, to seize and fashion a bright future, and second, to resist a dark past. During a joint press conference with visiting Croatian President Kolinda Grabar-Kitarovic, the Israeli leader took the opportunity to once again warn European countries of perpetual attempts by radical Islam to bring humanity back to a very dark period, namely the beginning of the Middle Ages, which according to Netanyahu is exemplified first and foremost by the Islamic Republic of Iran, and secondly by the extreme Muslim organization Daesh, which is the Arabic acronym for the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant. The Prime Minister further asserted that as a consequence of Israel's efforts to defend itself against Islamic forces, Jerusalem has also become the defender of the Middle East at large, which consequently also protects the continent of Europe.
Israel is in the forefront of the battle against radical Islam. And I would say very simply, if Israel wasn't here in the Middle East, then I think the Middle East would fall to radical Islam. The fact that we are here, the fact that we protect ourselves is obviously very important for us, but in defending ourselves, we're defending the entire Middle East, and by defending the Middle East, we defend Europe.
President Grabar-Kitarovic, on her part, echoed a statement by a Croatian soldier who emphasized the importance for Western countries to battle adversaries while they're still a long way away from their respective homelands. As such, the Croatian leader voiced her hope for an increase of cooperation in the sectors of security and intelligence between Zagreb and Jerusalem.
Because you fight the adversary while they're still long away from your home. And when they come to your doorstep, it's too late. So working together in combating the threats of terrorism, of what migrations bring with them, of human trafficking, proliferation of weapons of mass destruction, etc., will be most important for the security of our nations and of our people. And I hope that in that sense, we will increase our cooperation in defense industry as well, in security and intelligence, but also in many other areas.
With regard to anti-Semitism, that according to several studies is on the rise across Europe, President Grabar-Kitarovic stressed that Croatia, which is set to take over the presidency of the Council of the European Union from Finland in January of 2020, will promote additional activities to address the dangerous phenomenon.
As far as anti-Semitism is concerned, Mr. Prime Minister, I want to reassure you that in the first half of the year 2020, you will not only have a friend at the helm of the European Union, so to say so, but we have also taken care that we have several activities that address remembrance of the Holocaust and combating anti-Semitism.
Now to London, where recently appointed British Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab leveled a warning against the leadership of the Islamic Republic of Iran that it cannot expect to increase its acceptance among the international community unless it respects international law and the rules-based global system. While insisting that Britain acted lawfully when it detained the Iranian oil tanker Grace 1 because, according to intelligence information, it was heading with oil for Syria in breach of EU sanctions, the Iranian commandeering of a British-flagged oil tanker was an act of state-initiated piracy. In an interview to the London-based BBC Radio 4, Secretary Raab echoed his predecessor's statement, in which he underscored the vital importance to cooperate with the United States on assuring freedom of maritime navigation in the Persian Gulf in general, and the Strait of Hormuz in particular. The British top diplomat further insisted that the threat in the strategic strait is to all international shipping, and as such, it would be essential to have a broad coalition in support of safeguarding the waterway.
The threat in the Straits of Hormuz is to all international shipping, and I spoke to Mike Pompeo immediately on appointment, and we've shared the view that we need to uphold the rules-based international order, and actually it would be a good idea to have a broad coalition supporting keeping the freedom of navigation in that region.
Remarking on the same topic was Secretary Raab's American counterpart, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. During an interview in the U.S. Capitol with the president of the Economic Club of Washington, D.C., the American top diplomat acknowledged joint efforts with his British counterpart on establishing necessary deterrence in the volatile Persian Gulf. When asked whether the United States is committed to keeping the Strait of Hormuz open at any cost, Secretary Pompeo revealed that a global maritime security plan is in the making.
The Straits of Hormuz, are we committed to keeping open the Straits of Hormuz at any cost militarily?
Yeah, we're going to keep them open. We're going to build out a maritime security plan. Countries from all across the world who have a vested interest in keeping those waterways open will participate. It will take more time than we wish it would take, but I'm very confident that the world understands its importance, that America is prepared to be a significant part of that, but we need countries from all across the world to assist us in protecting commercial transit. We'll be successful.
When asked whether he expects Iran to return to the negotiating table with the United States due to the growing strain on Tehran's economy, Secretary Pompeo reiterated once again Washington's core Middle East objectives.
Remember the objective. The objective is the national security strategy that was laid out now 2.5 years ago with respect to the Middle East. So it's broader. We tend to focus on the tactical. You have to step back and think about what we're doing more broadly in the Middle East. With respect to Iran, it's the world's largest state sponsor of terror. It has the capacity to continue to work towards developing a nuclear weapon system, which would cause proliferation risks all throughout the Middle East. And so we are very concerned about that as well. Our chosen strategy was to take a 180-degree turn from what the previous administration has done. They created opportunity for enormous wealth for the kleptocrats in Iran and for them to underwrite Hezbollah, militias in Iraq, the Houthis in Yemen that are, even as we speak, preparing to continue their attacks on Saudi Arabia. We've decided to go the other way. We're trying to reduce their resources to conduct terror campaigns all around the world, build out their missile systems and their nuclear program, and we've been incredibly effective at that.
Taking a sharp turn to the decades-old Israeli-Palestinian conflict, the U.S. Secretary of State emphasized that while the international community could assist in bringing about peace, at the end, bringing about any viable solution will be the decision of the Prime Minister of Israel and the leadership in the West Bank and Gaza Strip. Thank you for watching us. Keep praying for the peace of Israel and the peace of Jerusalem. I'm Jonathan Hassan. Have an Erev Tov, and we will see you again tomorrow at the same time.
Hi, this is Maayan Hassan from TV7 Israel News. Like our videos? Support our cause? Enjoy learning more about the region? Want constant updates about the Middle East? Then subscribe to the TV7 Israel News YouTube channel. Make sure to also turn on the notification bell with just one simple click of a button. After subscribing to our channel, a bell icon will appear under every one of our videos. You will find the notification bell right next to the subscribe button, and all you have to do is click on the bell icon, and make sure small sound bars appear above it. This way, you'll be alerted every time we upload a new video, and thus will never miss a thing. Stay tuned, and thanks for watching.